So let's be blunt, who's actually pulling those royal purse strings? Yes, you know, the ones put together by all of those collection trusts and stuff like that, because now, sadly for His Majesty the King, he's at something of a bit of a buffer. That's because he's decided, well, to charge to go in a very famous place. As ever, let me explain. Morning, how are you? Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll have another wave, sorry. Windsor Castle. Have you been? I love it in there. I think it's probably one of my favourite royal residences because of the history. I mean, I have told you the other day, didn't it? Be careful when you go to Windsor because it's very misleading. You get off and there's a train station, obviously, and you get off and you think, oh, it's quite flat. Ooh, the hill to Windsor Castle. And don't go in a cab because they go at a snail's pace, charge you a fortune. Not worth it. Plenty of benches along the way. That's what I found. Yes, stop for your flask of tea. But seriously, it's a lot more of a trek than you realise. But you see it the minute you come out. It's so domineering in Windsor. Now, since 1895, locals living in the Windsor area were able to go into the castle for free. Part of their, council thing or whatever. Now, after 200 years, they're going to have to pay, and they're up in arms. Now, this particular charge has all been put forward by the Royal Collection Trust. Now, the Royal Collection Trust are a group, a company that really look after all the royal palaces. So things like the opening of Buckingham Palace, portrait events at Kensington Palace, stuff like that, they put them all together rather splendidly, I must say. But this has also come back and hit His Majesty the King. Let me explain two things. It's not about him. He doesn't actually have a say. It's the people that run the royal palaces. And the upkeep of running Windsor Castle, as one can imagine, is phenomenal. Hence the reason His Majesty the King has decided to open Balmoral and do extra things with inside Buckingham Palace. He's trying to make sure the money comes from people that want to visit. But you see, the bigger picture is, if you've had it for free for 200 years, of course you're going to be up in arms. Why should we pay now? It's not fair, all that sort of stuff. But the bottom line is, seemingly, it hasn't affected visitors too much. And as a person pointed out to me, locals tend not to be the main visitors. They're the sort of people that come ad hoc, but not exactly regulars. So while they may all be complaining, and I'm not having a go at anybody who lives in Windsor, I can understand it must be annoying when a freebie's taken away. But the bottom line, it's nothing to do with His Majesty the King. It is the Royal Collection Trust. And let's face it, you've had 200 years to have a free look round Windsor Castle. That's not a bad stretch, is it? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.